In this video, I want to show you how to use the intermittent fasting functionality in the Fastnow app. While I'm normally using mostly the extended tab, I want to briefly discuss the intermittent tab because it's an extremely popular feature that people use to manage their food intake on a daily basis. The idea behind intermittent fasting is that you narrow the window when you can actually eat to a fixed time frame, and just then by narrowing that window, people automatically reduce the potential for calorie intake. So it's an additional tool that you can apply to decide when you're not going to eat during the day. And if we now click on the start button on the intermittent tab, you will see that there are multiple schedules available. These are just for convenience. You can actually click on custom and pick your own schedule. But the schedule basically represents how many hours of the day you are not eating and how many hours you are allowed to eat, your eating window. And let's just go back and pick a popular program such as, for example, 16:8 is probably one of the easiest one to execute on, which still makes sense. Let's select it. And now you have two options. You can start immediately or you can schedule it for later. So starting immediately is fairly straightforward. As soon as you start, you will see the fasting window starts counting down. That means from now on, you will have to wait 16 hours until you can start eating. So if you want to start the program right now, that's probably, you can just leave it as this. This is probably the best option for you. But most of the time, actually, you don't want to start fasting right now. Maybe you want to start eating right now and then you want to start the program. So to correct that, we can just at any point in time during your journey click on eat early. And now you can say whether you just want to eat early today and then go back to the original schedule, or if you want to completely shift your schedule and from now on repeat that cycle at the different uh, intervals. So let's, for example, shift the schedule from now on permanently, start eating now. And what happens now is that for 8 hours, you have the window to eat now. You can see it at the bottom of the second counter. It says you can eat up until 7:30 p.m. This will be a fairly reasonable selection here. As of 7:30 p.m., you will not be eating anymore until next day at 11:30. And you're going to cycle through this every day. The app is just going to continuously run this, and this will be your anchor to manage your eating and fasting windows. You can activate the notification button in the top right corner here, or you can deactivate it, and the app is going to notify you around the key timings for your switches between eating and fasting windows, which is fairly convenient, especially when you're just starting out a routine. Later on, you can just simply switch it off. Okay, so now let's quickly interrupt this intermittent fast and let's go back in and let's schedule something. Let's keep the same schedule 16:8, but we are not going to start now. We are going to use the selection object at the bottom here. And it's basically asking you, when do you want to stop eating in the future? It's the same kind of process. It's just another way of launching it. And if you want to stop eating today at 9 p.m., let's say, you can set it up here, activate schedule. And now you have 14 hours and 20 minutes of fasting until you can start eating again. I just had to think for a second because this is quite extraordinary now. If you would be eating from 1 p.m. until 9 p.m. and this was a misinterpretation on my part. 14:20 is not how much you have to wait. This is how much you're already into the fasting window. Why did I make this mistake? Because at the bottom right corner you have a little chevron arrow button, and if you click it, you can switch to count up or count down. And this was actually counting up, meaning it's showing us how long are we into the fasting window right now. That means we can start eating at hour 16, it's going to switch. And this what confused me there for a moment, because you can also look at the counting down uh, view, where you can see how much time is left until your eating window starts. So if you are not into intermittent fasting, this can be sometimes a little bit confusing, because you need to think in these two dimensions of eating and fasting windows. And since I'm not a frequent user, I had to stop there for a second. But otherwise, we've tried to design it relatively straightforward and simple. Okay, I hope this was useful, guys. I see you in the next video, and thank you.